I know what you're thinking. My God, he's so tall. Well, first of all, thank you, Ronan, for those kind words. Although, unfortunately, none of that stuff is true. It's just stuff I put on Wikipedia 5 years ago, and now people believe it. Well, distinguished guests, friends, family, and fellow graduates, it is a huge and unexpected honor to be here with you today. Like so many of you, when I was growing up, so many people who were important to me, my family, my teachers, they stressed the importance of a good education, of a good post-secondary education. They always told me that the secret to success in life was a good education, but of course it would require hard work, dedication, and sacrifice, because after all, university degrees do not just fall from the sky. Luckily, honorary doctorates do. And for that, I am eternally grateful. I am also grateful that my degree, unlike yours, does not come with a crushing student debt. It does, however, come with the title doctor, which I'm allowed to use, apparently, and I think I'll get used to that. In fact, this morning, just before we came here, I was talking to my mother, and I told her, I said, I'm finally at Bishop's. You know, Bishop's is where, we name the bar, the college bar of the entire country. And it's so great to be here, and everyone's so nice, and, the convocation is this morning, and I'm getting the doctorate. And she said, that's wonderful, Rick. And she said, do you think getting this doctorate will change you? And I said, God, no, Mom, of course not. No. But it's Dr. Mercer now. So now my job today, with the power invested in me as an honorary doctorate, is not to ask you to turn your head and cough, which I thought was the initial assignment, but it's to inspire you in 5 minutes or less. And they made a big point of that, saying 5 minutes or less. I think I have a reputation of not shutting up or something. But I can do a lot in 5 minutes. Every week on my show, I rant. That's what I do. I rant for 2 minutes or less. And it's the favorite part of my week. Anger is my cardio. And on television, I rant about many, many different things, many, many different subjects. Sometimes I rant about what's wrong with the government. Other times I rant about what the government's doing wrong. I never really run out of subjects to rant about, but occasionally I ignore the government altogether and I rant about what I think is great about this country. And if that was my job here today, to rant about what was great about this country, I don't think I would have to say anything. I could just shut up and I could point at you. Because I don't want this to go to your head or anything, but you're one good-looking bunch. The future's not just bright, it's hot, too. And so while I won't presume to inspire you, I'd like to talk a little bit about what inspires me. And I thought I'd talk about that because what inspires me is my work. And I figured that this may be appropriate because for some of you, for the first time in your life, you're facing the prospect of perhaps going out and getting a real job. Apparently that's true because all the people on this side of the room are nodding. They're still nodding, I can see that. Well, the cliche is if you figure out what it is that you love and then you figure out how to make a living at it, then you've won. And it's a cliche, but it's absolutely true. If you go to work on Monday morning and you are happy, believe me, it doesn't matter how much money you make, you've won the lotto. Unless, of course, you want to be a bass player, and that probably won't work out, and you'll probably have to get a real job on the side. But other than that, because this is a great country with great opportunity and because you're graduating from such a good school, for most of you, with patience, you'll be able to have a career that you love. Now, the reason for me personally why I love my job and why I've grown to love my career is because every single week I get to travel around this country. Every single week I get to travel around the country and I get to meet new people. I get to go on these new adventures. Every single week I fall more and more in love with the place. And believe me, if I had one wish for you, that would be it. It would be that you get to know your country. And I realize that that's easier said than done because we are one big country. I mean, we are huge, and it's a problem. And as a result, because of our immense size, how should I put this? We're a difficult country to get intimate with. You know, if you go to any major city in this country, it's cheaper to fly to Florida or Arizona than it is to fly 2 provinces over. It's cheaper to go to Montreal and fly to Paris, France, than it is to fly to St. John's, Newfoundland. It's cheaper to fly to the moon than it is to fly to Iqaluit. Okay, that's an exaggeration, but you get my point. But as a result of our vast size, so many Canadians don't get to experience everything their country has to offer. And that's a real problem, because we live in a country where obviously national unity is not something we can take for granted, and it's certainly not something that is ever guaranteed. And there's always been regional differences in this country. There always will be regional differences in this country, but in recent history, quite often, these regional differences are being played against one another. People are being played against one another in this country, whether it's French versus English, East versus West, rural versus urban, gay versus straight, the educated elites, which would now be you, versus your members of parliament. And suddenly, you know, pitting all these people against each other, suddenly the idea of nation building and commonality is passé. Now, this might help certain people get elected to the House of Commons, but it's no way to run a country. And this is where you come in. It's your job as young Canadians to put a stop to it. So I would encourage you, as you go forward onto your life and your career, to make a point of getting to know Canada, to make a point of not only visiting different parts of Canada, but actually living in different parts of Canada for periods of time and working in different parts of Canada. And if you will, with that knowledge and experience will come a pride of ownership that will never disappear. So this is my advice to the graduating class of 2010. Please get intimate with Canada. And as with any intimate relationship, please be safe. And by safe, I mean always carry a second piece of photo ID in your luggage in case some hoser steals your purse or wallet and you need to get on a flight the next day. And of course, wherever you're living, wherever you're working, if there's an election, please vote. So very few of us do. Thank you very much. It is an honor to graduate with you. Dr. Mercer out.
Well done, Rick.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.